All right, y'all. So I don't often talk about, quote, technical SEO things. One, because it's not my favorite. I love the blend of on-page SEO and copywriting and making words sound like humans, but still appeal to search engines. That's really my jam. But, sometimes it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. It's the technical SEO things that can really keep your site from getting found by the right people at the right times. So today we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into a technical SEO issue, which is pretty simple, but it can be a little bit tricky, and it is low word count. So take a deep breath. Don't freak out. It's not as bad as it sounds. And I promise that I'm going to make it simple for you. I'm going to explain why this is important, when it's important, and 5 easy ways that you can fix it your own sweet self. So bust out that pen and paper. If you're precious like I am about your pens, grab you a Sharpie fine point marker and get ready to take some notes and then go apply them to your own website and your business. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing. Do you want to grow your business with sustainable traffic sources? Have you heard about the power of search engine optimization and you want to take advantage of it to get more traffic, more eyeballs on your business? But when it comes down to it, does SEO feel complicated and hard to implement? Are you tired of wondering what in the heck to do with your website to get more traffic and more leads knocking on your door? What if I could tell you that there was a simple, proven system for using SEO, blogging, and copywriting to get leads from your website, and not just any leads, high converting leads. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, wife, mama, copywriter, SEO strategist, and barrel racer. And for the last 8 years, I've been figuring out what works and what doesn't work in the world of online marketing to get organic traffic. And now I'm here to share all the things I'm learning in the trenches of SEO, copywriting, and content marketing. How does 300%, 500%, or even 12,000% more traffic in a year sound? What could your business do with that kind of traffic increase? How many more people could you help? So listen in and prepare to take notes. I'm about to drop simple, actionable SEO marketing and copywriting tips, all with a heavy dose of Jesus-loving encouragement. Let's get you more traffic and more leads so you can help more people with your God-given gifts. So in case y'all missed last week's episode where I interviewed my branding designer, she helped design my new website. In the process of designing my new website and kind of refreshing my brand, it forced me to kind of take a deeper look at some of my own stuff. Because if you are a service provider and you're busy, which I hope you are, then you kind of know that sometimes your own stuff takes the backseat to client stuff. And, that's okay in a lot of ways. But I was just kind of forced to re-look at some of my own stuff and re-look at some of my own website's SEO. And let's be real, it needed it. Okay, so word count. Now, when you have a tool like Ubersuggest, which I have talked about for literally years as being my favorite keyword research tool, when you have a tool like Ubersuggest, or really whatever SEO tool you prefer, most of them are going to help you identify SEO issues on your website. And one of the things that popped up as I redid my website and recrawled and did all of the things to reevaluate my own stuff is low word count. But this is something that I see frequently with clients and a question that I answer a ton and a thing that I fix a ton. So low word count is a thing. It's an issue. And why is this an issue? Why is low word count a problem, right? I mean, really, you're like, hey, let's just say the thing and say it quickly and get it done, right? Which I fully understand, right? Like sometimes I just want people to give me the cliff notes, okay? Like it shouldn't take you 15 minutes to tell me a 2-minute story. Please and thank you, bless you. But for SEO purposes, a website, a specific page on a website that has a low number of words does not make Google happy. Why? Well, because there's not enough text on that page for Google to tell what that page is about. And if Google can't tell what a page is about, then Google's going to have a hard time indexing that page and showing it to the people that are actually looking for that information, because Google's whole mission is to categorize information on the internet to make it easily findable for people, right? Like that's the whole thing. So when you think about your search engine optimization and your whole website strategy, I need you to be thinking, how can I make this easy for Google to understand, classify, and get in front of the right people, okay? So when you think about all of the text, all of the copy on your web pages through that lens, you need to think, okay, do I have enough information on here to help Google understand what this page is about? And typically, anything less than a few hundred words is not enough. It's not enough for Google to be like, oh, this page is about XYZ. Now, depending on what you read and who you read and where you're getting your SEO information and like what these people's opinions are, some experts say that you need 2,200 words on a page to make Google happy. Bless it. Y'all, I have a lot of words, but that's a lot of words for some pages. Let's be real, okay? Now, for most business owners, hitting that 2,200 word mark is ain't no thing for like a homepage or service pages or those main pages of your website. Where you kind of get bit in the butt on low word count is on other, like, they're kind of, oh yeah, those kind of, oh, we forgot about that, we gotta pop that on that kind of pages. Like your about page sometimes is a little bit low on word count. Your contact page, oh my gosh, that bites people in the butt so bad. And then sometimes specific service pages, okay? Those tend to be the big culprits as far as low word count. And then if you have pages like you've been featured on certain places or a publicity page to try to make it easier for different people to find you and work with you, those kinds of pages tend to be problematic for search engines and this low word count issue. So when does your word count matter? Okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to write 2,200 pages or 2,200 words for your contact page. Bless it. I am not going to tell you that. But what I am going to tell you is that you probably need to have at least 500 words, 300 to 500 words on every page of your website. Now, how in the heck are you going to do that? Well, we're going to walk through that. But just know that I'm going to make it easy, okay? And it's not going to take hiring a copywriter for every single one of those pages. It's not going to take you 5 years to get all of those things written, and you really don't need to sweat it, okay? So take a deep breath. Ready? Now, well, hey there, pals. Are you looking to get more traffic to and more leads from your website in the coming year using the power of SEO? Are you tired of the hustle, the grind, and constantly changing algorithm of the social media game? Are you ready for sustainable marketing without 80 hours of work each week? Then go check out my signature course, The Organic Marketing Framework, where I break down exactly what our team has done with clients and students to help them get more traffic, more sales, and to know how to harness the power of SEO without losing their minds. Head on over to faithhannon.com/framework and learn how to get more leads from your website in just 4 weeks. Okay, now 5 easy ways to fix your low word count issue with some of your website pages / all of your website pages that need fixing. Okay, number 1, don't be afraid to reuse, repurpose, and refresh some of your existing copy. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see business owners make is feeling like you have to do everything from scratch and you have to reinvent these beautifully crafted sentences for every piece of your website. And the fact is, it isn't true. You don't have to reinvent copy for every single page. Now, I'm not saying that you should duplicate your copy for across pages. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that within your brand messaging, you need to have some core messages, some core phrases that you put a ton of time and effort into making sure that they are expertly crafted and then reuse those bad boys in multiple places. This is going to not only help make your job of copywriting easier, but what it does is it starts to help, your ideal client and your ideal customer start seeing and hearing those phrases again and again and again, and solidifying them in their brain. I mean, if you think about the greatest marketing slogans in the world, they're the ones that you remember because you've heard them multiple times, right? Like huge companies like McDonald's and Nike and, multi-bajillion dollar companies, they don't feel the need to reinvent their marketing from scratch with every single campaign, right? Like they figured out what works. They figured out what resonates with their audience, and they reuse some of those elements through multiple campaigns, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to go through your website copy documents, and I want you to highlight certain things and be like, oh, that phrase is super good. And then I want you to copy those elements into a brand new doc and just label it message hacks or messaging templates. And then you can sprinkle some of those elements throughout your website copy, okay? You don't have to just use those really beautifully crafted sentences on your main pages. You can use them on some of your lesser loved pages, like your contact page and your specific services page and your about page, okay? Do not be afraid to reuse, refresh, or repurpose some of your already expertly, beautifully crafted phrases of copy, okay? The number 2 way that you are going to fix your low word count issue is I want you to use some of those testimonials that you have on file that maybe weren't your like supreme favorite testimonials, okay? Now, I love all of the testimonials I have. I love it. I love hearing from clients. I love getting emails. I love getting feedback. But there are some testimonials that are specifically selected for home pages because they speak to a pain point that we know most of our customers are dealing with, right? When I'm working with a website copy client, we comb through testimonials, right, to find the ones that speak to their ideal client's pain points, okay? And the fact of the matter is, y'all, some people are just better with words in their responses and in their testimonials, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But there's no reason why you can't use maybe a less sparkly testimonial on one of your, lesser frequented pages, like your contact page, right? So use some of those testimonials that you are otherwise just sitting in a file on your computer. Use them on some of those pages as well. And the number 3 thing, so I want you to take like 5 minutes and I want you to ask ChatGPT for ideas on how to rephrase something in a different way. Now, y'all know that I am not like ChatGPT queen of the world. Like I don't use ChatGPT for very many things. I don't use AI for very many things because I always feel like authentic content is going to trump everything, right? But it does have its place, and using it within your content workflow, not to completely take over your content creation, but using it for idea iteration or refining or coming up with different ways to say things can be really helpful to kind of get the wheels turning. So if you have something, you're like, man, help me come up with more fun ways to say, if you're looking for a bookkeeper in the Fort Collins, Colorado area, help me come up with different ways to say that. Help me come up with different ways to say this phrase. Help me come up with different ways to say this. Use ChatGPT and whatever your AI platform of preference is to help you just get some ideas flowing, okay? Don't spend 5 hours on it. Spend like 5 to 10 minutes on it. And then take those ideas and make them sound like you, because your copy should still sound true to your overall brand voice, even on those lesser loved pages that tend to have a low word count. All right, and the next tip I have for you is I keep a file of copy reject phrases, okay? Because, y'all, sometimes your first work, it just ain't your best work in writing copy and coming up with titles and all of the things, right? Like there's a reason that we have multiple drafts, okay? But what I like to do is I actually keep a reject file for most of my projects. And then, I have something like, what, that's not the best way to say it, but it's another way to say it that might speak to a different buyer type or a different personality type. So I'm going to take that quote reject phrase, I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit, and I'm going to use it elsewhere on the website because it's still something that's clear. It's still something that's true. It's still something that speaks to, your ideal client's pain points. But really and truly, I will keep a reject file of copy and then I'll pull from it as well. And, usually it's like B grade copy, okay? But for the average business owner, you probably can't afford to have somebody write every jot and tittle, so to speak, of your website copy, right? To have somebody write your contact page and your featured on page and your publicity page, like that just gets really expensive. And it's not necessary to have all of that perfectly crafted. So it's okay to use some of that reject file copy swipes to sprinkle in on some of those lesser loved pages to up your word count, okay? And now, the last tip I have for you on how to up your word count on those low word count pages to help you get more traffic and keep Google happy is I want you to think of some of these pages as like a pillar, like a hub of help me find other content related to these things. So for example, I'm just going to use a contact page. So if you have a contact page with low word count and you're just trying to get up to that 300 to 500 word count that we're going to shoot for on some of those pages, I want you to link to other helpful content on that page. Now, in your description, your anchor text leading to that link on that page, the contact page for this example, I want you to think about, phrasing it in a way that's going to help your ideal client lean into that link, right? And click that link. So if I have a contact page for, let's say, a social media strategist, right? She's got her contact page and we're trying to up her word count. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back through all of her blog posts related to social media strategy. And we're going to essentially create an almost mini FAQ section on the bottom of her contact page. Like we're going to give the people what they want at the top. Like, this is how you email me. Fill out this contact form. And here's some more information to help you get started getting more traffic from your social media sites and getting more clients from your social media sites. And you're going to have a wondering which platform is the best one for you. Here are 3 ways to find out. Link to this blog. Are you curious if a social media manager is actually worth the investment? Here are 10 things to consider before investing in social media management. Are you worried that you need a local social media management expert? Here are 3 things to consider. Do you have to hire a brand photographer or a local photographer every 2 months to have a great social media presence? Absolutely not. Here are 10 ways to photograph and shoot content for your social media without hiring a professional brand photographer every week. And so if you think through your ideal clients like FAQs, right, then you can kind of sprinkle out more copy on that contact page as we're using in this example. And then you're serving them on that page as well. And bonus, this is going to actually help boost your SEO as well because you're interlinking pages and you're creating a hub of useful content on that page as well. So there you have it. Why is low word count an issue? Well, because it tells Google that we don't know what this page is about. Google doesn't know what this page is about, and therefore it's not going to index it as high. It's not going to bump it up on the search pages, on the search engines results page as high as we would like it to be. When is this important? Well, pretty much all the time. However, I don't think that you need to go for the 2,200 word count for every page on your website. The lesser loved pages can usually sit at about 300 to 500 words and be just fine. And then 5 easy ways to fix it. Don't be afraid to repurpose, refresh, and reuse great copy. Number 2, a great way to use your not as favorite testimonials. Number 3, ask ChatGPT or PAL even for a great way to rephrase something or say it just slightly differently. Number 4, pull from your copy rejects file. And yes, you should have one. And number 5, create an FAQ hub at the bottom of these lesser known pages, lesser loved pages, to help create more engagement on your website and up your word count. All right, y'all. Excited for what's coming up next week and the rest of the month. I pray that you'll have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and we'll chat next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts? That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.